Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird. Welcome to a new Steel Division League cast today. We're in Steel Division 2, of course, derp. Steel Division League Season 3, Division 2, I'm trying to remember everything now, and we are in the playoffs. Let's just have a look at the brackets. We've seen Curbs beat out Metalface. He will go on to face Grey Fox in the semi-finals. Today we have the other round one matchup, Skoda versus Tiger. So on the left-hand side in blue, today we have Skoda. He's playing the 6th Airborne on Flatline Income. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. He does support me on Twitch, so much appreciated for that support. And yeah, go check me out on Twitch, Angry Bird Live. And talking about Twitch as well, the opponent Skoda's up against today is Tiger, playing the 15th Infantry, also on Flatline Income. It's the Battle of Britain, and Tiger is a Twitch streamer, so if you want to catch him out on Twitch, head to Twitch. How many times can I say Twitch? And it's Tiger1 in Twitch. Let's check out the guys' decks. So Skoda, he's playing the 6th Airborne in the Battle of Britain today, and 100 units of infantry. Will this be decided by who has the most infantry? The 6th Airborne, they don't really get the rifles, so they are working with different kinds of infantry. To the 15th, they get the glider crews, AB Canadian Paras, AB Engineers, Oxen Bucks, AB Paras, the Belgium Grenadier Voltigeurs. They're, some units to look out for. Those Belgians are pretty good for their price cost. And the AB Paras finishing things off in C phase gives 100 units of infantry. They are raiders, so they can operate behind enemy lines and hold territory behind enemy lines. We'll see whether any of that happens today. We've got the Centaur 4 in the support tab. That's the real kind of HE weapon for the 6th Airborne. All of the AP is from the, really the anti-tank guns. Really the anti-tank guns. The Tetrox, they can put a lot of fire down, as well as the Tetrot. More so the Tetrot Little Johns and the Daimler Little Johns. The Cromwells and the Challengers as well. But they're going to be coming up against Churchills, and some of those Churchills have very thick armor, so it's going to need the 6-pounders and the 17-pounders to deal with them. Other than that, it's the Typhoons in the air tab. Artillery-wise, we're looking at 1 off-map in A and 2 off-maps in B. The British are very well known for their huge off-maps, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a hell of a lot of off-map today. Off-map will be the name of the game. And yeah, we see it in the 15th. We've got 2 off-map vehicles at the start for Tiger. We've got 2 in B phase and then 3 in C phase. Really starting to challenge Amber T for the number of off-maps you can have in a game. In terms of infantry, actually a relatively similar lineup, but similar number of infantry. 108 units of rifles, similar number, but the rifles are just rifles. They're not quite as good, but then they're great in large numbers, so we'll see whether we can get those large numbers all together in one place. Bombers, Typhoons, kind of similar to the 6th Airborne. Crocodile, that will be the thick armoured version of the Churchill, and there is, I think it's also the Churchill 7 in B phase. I think that's also particularly thick armoured. Right, let's get ourselves into the action, and it looks like it's the 2 towns that are going to kick off the action here. Let's just check, see who makes it into positions. Looks like defense group being deployed. for Tiger. AB flamethrowers do go down, but there are 2 on the southern side. Perhaps they can whip themselves into position. Up on the more northern side, we do have a Humber Mark III here, taking a relatively forward position, taking a hell of a lot of shots. And then right up on the north, Skoda pushing forwards with AB engineers. Wow, pushing right past the rifles of Tiger and into this forest. What an aggressive move from Skoda, and he's trying to push his rifle leader there, I think, to kind of get them in there. In comes the Typhoon Mark 1B to immediately react, pin down all of those troops, and should get the surrenders. Yep, 3 nice surrenders there for Tiger. The Tetrox coming in from behind. In comes a Tempest Mark 5, going to duel it out with the Typhoon. Doesn't quite get the hit, and that errant round you see there is actually a smoke round from the 25 pounder. It's Or was it a smoke round? Was it a direct fire? For some reason, that piece is bugged at the moment, and it doesn't do the looping artillery fire that we so love from the artillery units. 2-inch carrier in here defending. There is no anti-armor right now, but the Crocodile on the way from Tiger, and that is the thick armored beast that we talked about. The Humber Mark III start to move up, but the Tetrox can deal with the Humber relatively easily. Both of these units can take each other out. The 2-inch carrier going to come up here and try and help out the Humber, but I'm kind of surprised by that move. The Humber does go down, and then that leaves the 2-inch in just a awful position. Will it do something miraculous? No. Oh, it did get a direct hit there. Did get a direct hit, but nothing miraculous. The Crocodile inches its way forwards. Let's just check back down to the center. Still no real movement there from the very start of this game. We will recap in a moment. I actually missed that out. But the action started immediately. Crocodile takes care of the Tetrarch. And the Churchill 6 down here as well is starting to get involved and could control this open ground, stop Skoda from resupplying the forest that he has picked up, and he has picked up the flag here. Let's recap. On the right hand side in red, we have Tiger. He's playing the 15th Scots on flatline income. He's currently down 13 to 11, and the man winning at the moment is Skoda, playing the 6th Airborne on flatline income. He's on the left hand side in blue. In comes a 6-pounder to challenge off against the Crocodile, but that Crocodile will need to move forward and breach the forest. 2-inch carrier getting involved there, taking shots at the AB engineers, and I do love to see this 2-inch carrier more in action. Look at that beauty. Stone-faced Brits there in the front of that 2-inch carrier. Oh, it looks like Skoda is trying to resupply here with the rifles and the glider crew, but the Churchill does have shots on. Misses the first against the rifle leader. Will it miss the glider crew? No, it doesn't. And that resupply mission may not make it all the way forward. The rifle leader is under a hell of a lot of pressure right now. And if he doesn't get into the forest, he is going to go down. He's well in line of sight of all of these rifles, so I'd be very surprised if he makes it through. Here comes Tiger's reinforcements. A hell of a lot of rifles. I mean, what would you expect from the 15th Scots? He does have the commander on the field. That's going to give him that extra veterancy, but it looks like Skoda's coming down south and perhaps trying to push down here. He's made some advances up north, and he's being very aggressive right now for flatline versus flatline income. This could hurt him in the long run. 6-pounder bails out the Churchill 6 there. Good job from that 6-pounder. He's going to continue firing, although the APCR has been switched off, so he is not going to waste that APCR ammunition. And the Churchill goes down. Bit of a blow there, but in comes the Typhoon to try and clear up that 6-pounder, and does so. Immediate response from Tiger with those Typhoon aircraft. In come the Humbers. Oh, wow, what do we have here? SOD. 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 What a unit, and wow. Yeah. Top level competitive play, bringing in Assad. Who would have thought it? So the SOD does come in here along with the Humbers. Is it only one? I think it's just the one SOD here. We'll look to see whether that can get any kills, but it's very unlikely because the only vehicle in here is the Tetrarch all the way back there. The SOD will have to... Actually, it could cross a lot of the range. I don't know whether I don't think the AB Vickers will actually destroy that SOD. But the rifles pretty much clear up the AB engineers in here, which is fairly surprising that more haven't. It's just that numbers game, isn't it? Even the AB engineers with those satchel chargers, they can only deal with one unit at a time, and then when you've got 5 surrounding it, yeah, they can't really go anywhere. So Skoda has lost his position up north. Let's look down south, because he did bring in units down south for a push. It looks like he has begun to try and take that center. He's brought Tetrarch Lil Jon into the south, along with the Centaur 4s, to try and take the south. And wow, look at this AB sniper. When did that get in here? It's actually taking shots and does take down the 6-pounder. Beautiful play from that AB sniper. Wow. And it is pushing forwards. I don't know whether it's going to take out the HMG, though. That's the thing. But down goes the 6-pounder, and in comes the AB infantry, the airborne infantry on the way. And wow, what a advance there. The sod's fairly far forward, which makes me want to jump back up to the north. I also want to pay attention to the south, but it looks like Tiger is launching an attack across the open ground in the north. All of those rifles he brought in, he is pushing them forwards. The Humber Mark 3s are supporting, pouring down fire on the AB Vickers HMGs. There is a 6-pounder in here now. Oh, it is going to be able to take shots. And did we miss it? Did we miss it? The Sod got the kill. The Sod got the kill against the Tetrarch. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Who said Sods were bad? Who said that? Who said it? The rifles coming in trying to pick up the flag there. The 6-pounder is, yes, it is in line of sight to hit that Churchill, but the APCR are not on right now, and that 6-pounder, just the amount of fire coming down of it. Tiger pretty much demolishes the northern side, and we saw it. We saw it. He didn't need to ping the Sod. We saw it. The AB Vickers, the Vickers HMD down south has been caught out. The sniper must have revealed it, along with the Canadian Paras. The glider crew are forced back. The AB Paras and the flamethrower are pushing through, should take out that rifles there. So, ooh, big shot from the Churchill 6 there, takes down that Tetrarch in a very, very tight line of sight, and takes down the other one as well, completely destroys any armor that Skoda has on this southern side. The Tetrarch Lil Jon has not been brought forwards yet. Really does need to react to that Churchill. I'm not quite sure where he's going to place it or how he's going to deal with it. He does have the 6-pounder here as well, but the Churchill has to push quite far forward to do that. But Skoda does pick up the 2 flags in this center town, and he maintains a 14-10. He's had a lead for quite a while now. He is up, and Tiger's got 30 minutes left on the clock to equal out the results. The Sod pushes forwards. He's going to be up against a further 2 Tetrarchs. Can he double kill? Oh my days. This would be an unbelievable situation, but the Tetrarch are going to come around the corner and should spot it out of range. I doubt that's going to get a kill, but it's advancing. No, it does not get a second chance and does go down. The M5 half-track coming around the back here, taking grenades from the AB engineers, and does go down there. The AB engineers pushing forwards, the Oxen Bucks as well, launching in those satchel chargers, but one at a time. They just keep getting pinned down by the weight of fire that Tiger has up here. And no matter how many HE grenades they've got, it's just pin down after pin down unit, and then surrendered after surrendered unit. And I think at the moment, Tiger's expectations, his front line is just completely pushing so far forward. He's probably having a hard time resupplying that. In comes a Churchill OP 140mm off map, which I imagine he was going to use up here at some point, but he's so far outstripped his front line that he's actually brought it further down into the center, and he's looking to push forward into this center town. Currently a unit of glider crew not quite unloaded. Looks like one of the Humbers did go down to the Churchill there. We've got a 6-pounder pushing through, but it's very tight, you know, engagement ranges here, and the rifles can start to get involved. If those rifles don't go down, the 6-pounder may well lose out, and it may well get spotted, and we could see another Typhoon bomber enter the fray. Talking about bombers, Tempest flying up over the south, as well as a Typhoon looking to hit that Churchill, I would presume. Yes, that is the case. The sniper has done a hell of a job, but it has gone down now up on the front line. Typhoon coming in, does not release its weapons. Wow. Yeah, I imagine Skoda's pretty annoyed about that. I can't imagine somehow the Churchill came out of line of sight. Perhaps that AB sniper going down. Maybe the Churchill somehow came out of line of sight, and that was what caused the issue. In comes the Tempest, does hit the Vickers HMG, but does not get the kill. Down goes that 6-pounder up on the northern side. Very close engagement range with the Crocodile, but goes down. The Crocodile clears the Tetrarch as well. Everything Skoda's putting in Tiger's way, Tiger is dispatching right now with, you know, fairly relative ease. In comes a Mosquito. He's going to want to hit that Crocodile. Can he take it out with the Bomber? And look at the rifles advancing in the center. Just hundreds and thousands of rifles right now. The Mosquito does do the job where the 6-pounder was not able to, but there are no rifles to hold the position or AB infantry. In comes the Belgium Grenadier Voltigeurs, but Tiger advancing forwards again. However, the only AT he's now got is the rifle leader, so that Tetrarch can hold off an infantry push. Well, somewhat of an infantry push for now. In comes another off-map from that Churchill 140mm. It does clear the town. Tiger has managed to push through. He's even got his commander on the way forwards. More rifles resupplying. And Skoda's position in the south is looking tenuous. He has a flag here just because Tiger's got a hell of a lot of recon infantry in and not normal infantry. Down goes one of the 2-inch to the 6-pounder up here. Centaurs engaging the Churchill, and Skoda's going to back those off, rightly so. If that Churchill pushes forwards, it does have a 6-pounder contest with. Skoda now reinforcing the northern side. Off-map going to be dropped on at least one of those reinforcements. The other may just avoid that. He is bringing in infantry for that centre town, but look at that Churchill 6 there, completely covering the reinforcements, which really hurts Skoda out. Really does hurt Skoda out. He has dropped the AB Canadian Paras, which does mean that the Churchill's going to fire on those rather than at the transports. A long shot from that 25-pounder. It is a smoke shot, yeah. Those long, low direct shots, they're actually smoke shots that for some reason the animation is bugged on them at the moment. I'm not sure if Fujin have fixed that because there has been a couple of patches since this game was played, so they may well have fixed that animation. Tiger looks like he spotted the 6-pounder. He's at least marked the position, although he's not quite dead on, which may make any kind of bomber that he brings in miss the target. But down south, oh, he is. Oh no, he's engaging the glider crew with the Churchills and the Crocodile. They are out in the open. I think Tiger really, I think he needs to look at holding this position. We're back to a 12-12 after all of this. After all of the moves up north for Tiger, he's still a 12-12 right now. But look at the number of rifles up here. Just so many rifles up on the northern side and northern centre side. And how are these glider crews and AB Canadian Paras just going to deal with the huge numbers of rifles? There's just so many. They do have the rifle leader here. They are 2 stars. The Canadian Paras are at least. And they do start getting engaged by the rifles, but those engagements do occur out of the close range to utilize those 4 Sten guns, whereas the rifles, they can use their 7 rifles, Lee Enfield rifles. The glider crews up here, they're caught completely outnumbered. The glider crew should go down. Looks like a couple of bombing runs up north, takes down a unit of rifles and hits the other one as well. But this center battle, let's see how it plays out. One of the rifles does go down here. The Canadian Paras still getting involved, but they are out of their majority range, or their best range, I would say. Because they are not getting involved with the Willie Pete, they aren't getting involved with the Sten guns. So I think Tiger may well have the advantage in here, but in comes the Mosquito, and that is a pretty good reaction. The glider crew pushing forwards for the surrenders, but there is a unit of rifles here that should prevent at least one of the surrenders, although they are down to one man, so it's not as though they're going to do much damage. If they don't surrender, the AB Canadian Paras are fighting a battle further back, but there are more infantry here that aren't getting involved. Now the order is given by Skoda, and they will get involved. It looks like the glider crew straight into the fire of all these other rifles, and yeah, actually they're getting involved at the AB Canadian Paras on the edge here. In comes the Typhoon, dropping on the AB Canadian Paras up here. Just look at the exchange of fire from both sets of British infantry lined up and firing at each other from hedgerow or, well, forest to forest. And wow, what a battle we have here. More Grenadier Volts incoming. The rifles pushing forwards into that building, trying to get themselves into green cover and at least get some extra cover bonus. But that does put them rather close to the fray here. And it's just a battle of infantry right now. Tiger's bringing in 3 more rifles. Let's just check back down to the southern side. While all that is happening, another push with rifles here from Tiger does relieve pressure on his southern flank. Destroys, I think, 2 Canadian Paras in that forest. And the Churchill's still firing on those glider crew, trying to resupply this town. Looks like Tiger is going to pick up the flag down here in the southern, in the southern portion of the battlefield, and does go 14-10 now. Skoda's got 31 minutes to pull this one back. Tiger, with the counter-attack, does push himself into the lead now. The Churchill is advancing. These Grenadier Volts do have gammon bombs, I believe they have. Yes, gammon bombs on them, so they can deal with that at very close range. So Tiger has to be careful about that, but for now he's going to sit himself just outside of that range on the edge of the forest, and he's got a nice, I mean, just look at that, the line onto that reinforcement road right now. I don't think he really needs to push forward from that position. He's never going to get this flag back here, so if he just holds that position with the Churchill, the 17-pounder, the right call here, it's going to have to edge forward to get the line of sight onto that position. But I think Tiger's certainly playing this one very well right now. Skoda initially, with that aggression, I somehow almost think that he played it too aggressive early on, and he traded territory for units and men, and Tiger gave up some of the territory but kind of kept some of his men more intact and took up more defensive positions. And maybe that's why he was able to turn this around. 17-pounders are now in. We do have a Typhoon. I imagine 2 big kills there from the Typhoon, really limiting the number of infantry to engage right now. The 17-pounder does get the kill onto the Churchill. Tiger marks the 2 positions, I imagine, for future bombing runs, and the 25-pounder takes out the sniper as well. Yep, in comes the Typhoon. I imagine that's coming in for one of the 17-pounders. No, hitting the 25-pounder at the back. However, there is a Tempest on the way as well. Neither side has any air defense. No anti-air. No, I tell a lie. Tiger does. He has 2 Bofors up, so definitely can win the air game. Kind of surprised he's going in for this duel, though, between the Typhoon and the Tempest. Kind of surprised he isn't kind of bringing this Typhoon back over his own kind of air defense. The Tempest is rudder damaged. It may go down if he does take him over that air defense. Plenty of micro from both players, but Skoda calling it away and will survive to fight another day. Tiger calling away his fighter bomber as well. Still has this flag in the center, and just with the number of rifles now, they are completely overwhelming the enemy infantry, and the AB Vickers HMG do come in. I think, yeah, they can do a great job here, although they are in range of some of the rifles units, so you would kind of want them to concentrate on this rifles, try and knock out the close range one to stop them firing on each other, and then at least concentrate on the rest. But I mean, Skoda's got so much micro to do. It's very nitpicking. This that would be very advanced micro in terms of the amount of micro that Skoda has to do across the map to spend time doing that. The 17-pounder does start engaging the Churchill 6 on the southern side. The Tetrarch Little John using the Beza machine gun to try and fire on the rifles. In comes the Mosquito, going to hit the 17-pounder in the center, but there's no real armor for it to take out. There is another Mosquito going to hit the rifles up close, does take them out, and the 17-pounder should go down with it. Yes, those Mosquitoes, incredible bombers. I've not noticed how effective they are in the past. 610 kilogram HE bombs on them, and really good bombers. Really good bombers. Hopefully the background noise isn't too bad. Let me know what you think of the sound. Hopefully it is good. I've been dabbling with a new microphone. It's not been a fantastic time, I've got to admit. But, wow, look at these Grenadiers on the back line. I'm not quite sure what Skoda's doing at the moment. Perhaps he's going to take them down this road and bring them in. Or perhaps he's... I mean, you would think he'd bring them into the center. But I think he's grouping them together. There is an off-map in there, is there not? Yeah, there is an off-map in there. So I think he's going to off-map and then push. But yeah, just an interesting position that he took up. Oh, I think he took them off the main road, so they couldn't get... So he kind of took them down into this position, so they used this side road. I think that was what was happening there. But yeah, I do have a bit of background noise as well, due to the dog running around in the background and making general noise. He always loves interrupting these casts with his whining and noise, so apologies if that has a big effect, but hopefully it shouldn't. Looks like Tiger is pushing further south. There is a 6-pounder here, taking shots at the Crocodile. Yeah, Skoda calling that one off because it can't penetrate that thick hide of the Crocodile. And the rifle should deal with the AB flamethrowers, at least 4-on-1 anyway. This little forest here is a lot more protected. The 17-pounder pushing forwards, kind of surprised. Yeah, it is going to now start firing on the Churchill 6. Obviously didn't have the greatest line of sight. Looks like those infantry were spotted, and the Typhoon bomber does come in. The off-map put into position. And yeah, rifle's going to start engaging the HMGs now. More bombers on the way, and Tiger's focusing on the infantry here. Wow. He's just focusing on the infantry. If he can take out the enemy infantry, then I think he's just kind of thinking, I'll have more infantry than the enemy. And if they haven't got infantry, then what can they do? His armor is certainly better than the 6 airborne armor, until at least those challengers come in. But here we have a challenger on the top. The Churchills can still deal with the challenger as well. So, the 17-pounder doesn't quite go down on the south. The challenger unleashes around at the 3-star Churchill up in the north. Trying to keep my eyes on all of the action. It's really hard. There's action everywhere across this battleground. And the challenger is getting hit time and time again. It's only a matter of time before it goes down to one of those shells. And there it does. It goes down to the Churchill 6. And that's what I was saying about the Challenger. It can at least do the job. But it also... Yeah, oh, and there's Skoda's surrender. I'm kind of not surprised. 23 minutes, 42 seconds. Skoda had it in the early game in the first 5-10 minutes. But I think he traded territory for the lives of his men. And that came back to bite him in some respects. I feel like Tiger set up or accepted some territory losses and got more rifles out, you know, traded where he could, and over time that gave him the advantage where he just had more men, just more men. And what could Skoda do at that point? He was trying to take out the enemy rifles as much as possible, but every replacement rifle came in and just replenished those huge numbers of men. I do think this game was played before the rifles nerf in terms of numbers. We didn't see any rifle Piats, so I'm pretty certain this game was played before that rifle number nerf. And hopefully this game kind of indicates that the 15th Scots did need a rifle hit. The 3rd Canadian were more of a problem, and that's why the nerf came in. But the 15th Scots, you know, rifles were strong. Just with the huge numbers you could get. But let's get off that subject. Congratulations to Tiger, 2,190 kills to 1,485 losses. Typhoon Mark 1B doing a pretty decent job, taking out a few important units here with the Rifle Leader, the 6-pounder and the 25-pounder. The Crocodile, I mean, such a menace on the battlefield. The Tetrox, they couldn't really deal with it, and the 6-pounder as well really would have struggled to deal with that. He would have needed to use the APCR, but even the APCR at long range, I think, would have struggled somewhat to deal with that Crocodile. We did see the SOD get the kill against the Tetrox. Yeah, I mean, I think that is typical Tiger. He does order in sometimes units as a bit of a meme there. I think, I don't think that SOD would be in a... I don't think if he played in Division 1, he would have that SOD in his deck. Come on, Tiger. The Churchill 6, again, you know, taking care of those Tetrox. The Churchill, the backbone of that armor being so incredibly strong in terms of its armor just allows him to not lose it, and then he can replace rifles with rifles, and he doesn't really have to replace his Churchills. Whereas look at all of these Tetrox kills going down and 6-pounders going down. Skoda had not only had to reinforce his rifles, but also all of his vehicles as well, because they were being taken out by those Churchills. Whereas we look at the losses, how many Churchills went down? We lost 1 to the 6-pounder here. We lost 1 here to the Typhoon. We lost a Crocodile to the Mosquito. Churchill down here to the 17-pounder, and 1 down here to the other 17-pounder. So what's that, 6 versus... how many Tetrox? One Tetrox, Challenger, 2 Centaurs. Well, actually, was I further down than I should have been? Let's try again. Yeah, 3 Tetrox, 4 Tetrox, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 Tetrox, Challenger, a couple of Centaurs. Hopefully you get the gist of what I'm saying. There we go. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Remember to subscribe for more Steel Division 2 games, and check out the links in the description as well to help support me make more content for you guys. And join Tiger on Twitch. He's a great streamer. I really enjoy watching him play. So yeah, give him that follow on Twitch and join him when he goes live. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I am Angry Bird. I will see you next time.